Hey guys, I've seen something on the internet, so I'm not going to claim this one. The fellow's name that did the video that I watched was LJ Magnum. And there's another one, and I don't recall his name. But at any rate, his video is outstanding. The only problem is, I built it per his video, and I don't like some of his dimensions. Now, his video, again, is fantastic. So I'd highly recommend you watch his video. I'd also recommend you download my print for my dimensions. And again, his dimensions aren't bad. I built my table. It works fine. But I found a few things I could do it a little easier. For example, the size of the dowel that he used and the size of the holes. And a few of the dimensions are a little different on mine. So if you watch his for the learning experience and then build it per my dimensions, this table is cool. I mean, you can unfold this thing in virtually 1 second and fold it back up in the same second. Now it folds to 5.5 inch wide. Well, it's actually, yeah, it's 5.5 inches wide. 3.5, 4.5, 5. It's 5 inches wide. And just leans up against the wall, or can sit by itself, but it's not real stable because you can see it's like a playing card on edge out there. Now, when you unfold it, it is 18.5 inches wide and 36 inches deep. Me and my brothers, and we're pretty good sized fellas, we sat there the other evening and played some cards at this table. You can pull a lawn chair right up to it, and it's just kind of fun. At any rate, I'm going to show you how this thing goes together. I've got a lumber list. Now, you can go on my website at here we go with the commercial, www.jacksfurnitureplans, all one word, jacksfurnitureplans.com, and I'll have this PDF up on that website here in a day or two. At any rate, you got to have a piece of scrap 1x2. You're going to need a 48 inch. Now, here's one place we differ. A 7/8 inch dowel. 6 foot of 1x6 if they'll sell you one. Most of the time they've only got 8 foot. Same thing on the 1x10. You need one piece of that 6 foot long, and a couple of 2x4s 8 foot long. Now, you can use just regular pine if you're going to use the thing indoors. That's what I did with mine. I don't intend on leaving it set outside. If you're going to do that, though, leave it out on the deck or something. You'll probably want to use treated pine. And when you're finished with the thing, you can slap a coat of paint on it, or varnish, or stain varnish, or however you want to finish it. And that PDF or the Word doc, it'll be one of the two on my website. It'll have all these dimensions so you can see them a whole lot clearer. The same thing here. You're going to cut these 4 leg pieces. There's 4 of them made out of 2x4s, 32.5 inches long. I show a little foot up there on the print, but that you'll put that on after you've built the table. And it's just a little scrap of 1x2. It don't even have to be cut on that angle. I just showed it that way. And here's another major difference in LJ Magnum's and mine. Mine uses a 15/16 spade bit, paddle bit, whatever you want to call it, and a 7/8 inch dowel. What happens is, I drilled all mine with a real good 1-inch spade bit, and I bought a 1-inch hunk of dowel rod. A 1-inch hunk of dowel rod don't fit in a 1-inch hole. That's a press fit. I had to stand out here and sand every one of these pieces of dowel down to get them to slip inside that 1-inch hole, and it took a half hour or better, and it was a pain in the damn neck. At any rate, so what I have you do is drill a 15/16 hole, which, if you've got a 1-inch spade bit in a set, you've got a 15/16 too, and buy a 7/8 inch dowel. That way they slip in real nice. It's going to have 4 of those legs and 4 of these support boards. I show it here from 2 different angles on the 3D with all the dimensions on it. You're going to start off, just like LJ shows you, you're going to start off with a short one and a long one on both sides, just like it is shown here. A piece of that dowel rod, 27.5 inches long. In this case, they're both with the angle down. You'll notice the angle on the leg and the angle on the support are both in the downward position. Stick that dowel rod through there and slide your legs out so they're flush with the ends of the dowel. Put a screw in the long legs only. Don't put a screw in them short ones. The next thing you're going to do is take 2 more legs, flip them over. Now these will have the angle up. Alright, and you're going to peg these to the inside short or long legs with a piece of 3 1/8 inch dowel. The reason it's 3 1/8 is because I need you to leave an 1/8 inch between those boards. If you stack it up, those boards right tight against each other, it won't open very well, and especially once it starts changing with weather conditions, humidity, heat, and wind, and all that, you know, just whatever that changes lumber conditions. But I can tell you that I built stuff too tight before, and you almost can't move it in the wintertime. So you slide your dowel in there. Again, make sure it's flush with the ends of your, the sides of your board are flush with the ends of the dowel. Run 1 screw into each dowel rod, lock it in place in that same long inside leg board. Here's your last folding board that's going to go on there. Now, these are the short support boards. These are going to go with the angle part up towards you. Stick that dowel in there. Run 1 screw, just like is shown here, in the outside leg into that dowel to hold it in place. And there are your assemblies pretty much made as far as those folding parts. The next thing you're going to do is measure up about 9 inches. You're going to stick a 30 3/4 inch 1x4 on there. It's going to be flush with the outside legs, but you're going to screw it into the inside legs, okay? So the outside's just a stop. Make sure it's square on there when you put it on there. Then you're going to put, well, let's go back to that one. Then you're going to put a top board on there. That's your tabletop up there. Measure all the way around. You should have a 1 inch overhang on both ends and a 1 inch past the end of the support board in the front. And that board it's just a 1x10, 36 inches long. Run 3 screws into the inside support boards. Okay, when you're done with that. Now, when you do that, make sure that you got your 1/8 inch space between them inside support boards and the inside legs. You know, you want to start keeping track of that, just a little bit of a space. I didn't measure anything when I built mine. I just made sure there was a space in there. Now, you just flip that whole assembly over and you put another 2 of them boards on there. Again, 9 inches up from the longest part of the toe out there. You know, to that one before. But on this one, now you're going to make sure your legs are flush with the ends of the one before, and then put 2 screws in each end through the outside, you know, into the outside legs. Okay, and then your 36 inch 1x10, it's going to do the same thing. It's got to have 1 inch space all the way around. Make sure you got your 1/8 inch spacings up, you know, between your folding boards there, and then run 3 screws into the outside supports. That's pretty much it. It's a doggone thing you ever seen. Now pick it up off there and try to open it up. It's fun to just pop this thing open. What I did on mine, because I didn't like the way it was kind of tipsy, you know, if you sit it out here in the middle of the floor, I mean, a breeze will blow it over. And it's not a whole lot better with these little feet on there, but it makes it quite a bit better. I just took a couple of little short pieces. I think it was about 3 inches of 1x2, and I just screwed them into the feet there, into the bottom of the legs to give it some feet. Now, I'll tell you now that on all of these screws, you want to drill about a 1/16 inch pilot hole, because if you don't, it's going to crack your wood. So make sure you drill a pilot hole, and that's about it. Hey, check out that. I put the address down here for LJ's video. His is fantastic. I watched it 30 times, I'll bet, while I was playing with mine. I just had a good time watching it. But again, go to my website, www.jacksfurnitureplans.com, and download the dimensions, because mine are a little different than his, and frankly mine, LJ, mine work better. I like these feet. His don't have them. And the 7/8 and dowel in a 15/16 hole, it's going to make a big difference. I wrestled that problem for, like I say, a good half hour. Have fun.